Hi guys, let me tell you a story about Tobi Ajala. Meet Tobi Ajala, your 16-year-old Yoruba boy with forehead too big for this school portrait. Okay, maybe not so big. Tobi's obsession for telling stories has made him change schools 6 times. Why, you may ask? Because every time he tells a particular story, the story of a bush baby, a child disappears. Yeah. Tobi doesn't mean harm. In fact, he thinks of himself as a modern-day griot, a preserver of indigenous lore. But there's a problem. Every time he narrates the tale, a student ends up missing. He's been expelled from Federal Government College of Bomosho. Hey, it's your fault Bolaji vanished. At Ibobi College, Lagos, your scary story came and took the only left-handed student we had in school. Funny but true. During a social event at Queen's College, Lagos, Yubi Tola disappeared on Valentine's Day. Now transferred to St. Luke's College, Owerri, a mixed boarding school with mosquitoes with beards and walking stick. The principal called him. "Bia Tobi, I've heard about you. I don't want to hear any story of a bush or a baby. Nanugo, you hear me?" Tobi, with fingers crossed behind his back, nodded his head saying, "Yes, sir." But of course, news had spread like wildfire. A group of boys cornered him saying, "Oh boy, can't tell us one of your mad story now, guy, no dollars now." Tobi first refused, but then again, he gave in to peer pressure. He begins, "Long ago in the Yoruba land where the moon refused to shine during the full moon, it was said that there was a creature called the bush baby. No one knew what it truly looked like. Sometimes it's as small as a toddler or as tall as a giant. Some said it walked covered in a wrapper, others said it walked stylishly naked. It always carries 3 things: a mat where it rests between screams, a cane which it drags behind its back, and a big bag of money which jingles even though no one has ever taken a kobo from it. They say the baby cries and everyone hears it. The cry sounds like a cat being baptized against its will. But when it cries a second time, only one person hears it, and that person disappears. But here's a twist. If you tell the story and you're not careful, you summon the baby. On hearing this, the boys laugh. Like, come on, which kind of story be this, Mr. Nollywood? But fast forward 3 a.m., the first cry echoes. Every boy in Scorpion Hostel Block 4 woke up. Goosebumps. Some even farted out of fear in the process. The second cry echoes. Despite closing his ears, only one child heard it. The next morning, Uche was missing. His bed, sandal, belongings all left intact. The only clue was the outline of a mat and footprints behind boys' hostel. Tobi must have told that story again. That boy has brought his bad juju to come and meet us here. These were the words flying from mouth to mouth among the students. "Bia, this boy! Did I not warn you not to come here with your juju story?" The principal came hard on Tobi. "I wonder how you managed to pass your junior WAEC and NECO with all the juju in your esophagus." "Sir, I swear it's just a story," Tobi cried. "Ah, shut up! Wait, John there. Let this be your final warning. Inugo." Meanwhile, Tobi had a friend in school, Chibuzo, a born-again, tongue-speaking, firebrand Christian who had his own ideas for solving this problem. "Tobi, listen. If you must tell this story, tell it in tongues. The bush baby won't understand you and that way can be summoned." "Hallelujah!" he said. "See this mumu? Do you think it's limited by language barrier? He probably understands better Yoruba than I do." Hearing this, Chibuzo suggested they research the entity's origin. They both found themselves in the dusty Yoruba section of the school's library. They stumbled upon a manuscript titled Elegbe Omo Igbo. The manuscript tells the story of a cursed child who was offered to the forest gods. The gods rejected the child. The child wept and wept until its voice changed. Worried, Tobi began to ask questions. Why is this story so familiar? Why does it sound so close to home? What still is the fact that the marking on the forehead of this baby in the picture is similar to that on mine. Stop overreacting, Chibuzo said. To lay your mind to rest, we are going to summon the bush baby and... Summon which baby? Tobi asked. Certainly not after this revelation we just had. Laying all fears aside and summoning courage, both boys, at night, went to the little forest just behind boys' hostel. Tobi told the story, and the next thing, Chibuzo shouted, "Bush baby! Come out wherever you are!" After a few seconds, they both had the first cry. Chibuzo burst into prayers, shouting and kabashing, but with no bush baby in sight. They both retired to their hostel. But what Chibuzo did say to Tobi was that he heard a faint cry. The next morning, Chibuzo had vanished and all his belongings were in place and his bed well laid. A large bag of money was found under his bed with a note sticking out. "Tell my story again and I'll bring a friend." To be continued.